Hello, darkness, my old friend. You've come to talk with me again. Sens lose 4-3 to the Minnesota Wild. On the one hand, it was better than the last time they played the Wild, but on the other, they lost for the 7th game in a row! Let's just get into lineup changes. The Sens saw a trio of lineup changes as they looked to mix things up a bit following their loss to the Canucks. After being acquired in a trade from those Canucks, Anders Nilsson got his first start in the Sens goal. Marcus Hogberg was given the night off, but is expected to start this afternoon. We also learned that Craig Anderson has resumed skating again, but it doesn't sound like his return is imminent. On the blue line, Stefan Elliott was returned to Belleville, making room for Christian Jaros, who returned to the lineup after suffering a broken finger in a fight in New York. The remaining 6D stayed the same as the Sens rolled with 11-7 once again. Up front, the Sens made a single change, as Jack Rodevald was returned to Belleville and Rudolf Balcers was called up. Balcers played in the game last night, marking his first taste of action as a Sen and his first NHL game. Balcers was acquired in the Erik Karlsson trade, and after leading the San Jose Barracuda in scoring last year, he's picked up where he's left off so far this season with the Belleville Senators, posting 14 goals and 26 points in 36 games. Batherson is only 1 point behind him with 14 fewer games played though. Balcers started the game on the Sens' fourth line and was their only forward who saw less than 10 minutes of action, skating for 7:45. So he didn't get much ice time, and we didn't get a real good look at what he could bring to the Sens. In the early going though, the Sens show exactly what they are capable of, if they play to their capabilities. The Sens throw absolutely everything they can at the Wild goal, outshooting the Wild 13-2 in the first 11 minutes and 13 seconds, but they can't find the back of the net. Finally, with under a minute to go in the period, the Sens are rewarded for all their hard work. Zach Smith hits Matt Duchene streaking through the middle of the ice. Duchene fights off two Wild defenders, breaks in all alone. Dubnyk comes out to play the puck. Duchene dangles it by him, tucks it in the empty net, and the Sens lead 1-0. Matt Duchene is elite. This is exactly the kind of player the Sens thought they were getting when they traded for him. Holy cow, that was amazing. It makes the trade worth it, too. Actually, no, it still doesn't. But it makes it a little more bearable anyway. He's just incredible. Please, Eugene, keep the trio, sign Stone, sign Duchene, and sign Dzingel. The goal was a terrific way to cap off what was an incredible first period for the Sens. Yes, the Wild ended up closing the gap in the shots, but the Sens still outshot the Wild 15-8 in the period. They also held a 15-2 edge in scoring chances and a 6-1 advantage in high danger scoring chances. You really couldn't have asked for a better start. But of course, a different team comes out for the second period, and we see it immediately. Not even a minute into period 2, Cunnin drops it for Spurgeon. He apparently is Moses, because the Red Sea parts, he skates right down the middle of the ice untouched, goes forehand, backhand, tucks it by the outstretched pad of Nilsson, and just like that, we're tied at 1. Just laziness and not enough effort from a pair of rookies. It's time to learn and time to teach them how to play in the defensive zone. The Sens do respond though, thanks in large part to some nice passing. Dylan DeMello wins a foot race and pokes the puck down low to Bobby Ryan. He picks it up, turns, and quickly fires a cross-ice backdoor feed to Ryan Dzingel. He tucks it under the outstretched pad of the sliding across Devin Dubnyk, and the Sens regain their 1-goal lead and lead 2-1. Man, when the Sens want to play, they can really play. What a nice foot race from DeMello. Of course, another terrific pass from Bobby, and Dzingel with a 16th. Unfortunately, the Wild respond with under 6 minutes to play. Eric Staal wins a puck battle in the Wild zone against Ben Harper. He, Granlund, and Greenway race the other way 3-on-2. When Staal gets into the offensive zone, he goes cross-ice to Granlund. Granlund goes into the middle to Greenway, who's left wide open. He fires it, Nilsson stops it, who then kind of falls down or something, and the puck ends up in the back of the net. And just like that, we're tied at 2. Okay. There are so many things wrong with this play. First of all, what was Ben Harper doing losing that puck battle? He is way too big and way too strong to be losing a puck battle that easily against Eric Staal, especially with Staal this late in his career. Secondly, why, or better yet, how was Greenway that wide open in front of your net? How and why do you not see a 6'6", 227-pound man standing directly in front of your goalie with not a soul in sight? Honestly, I know it was Dzingel who is a forward back caught playing defense, and he got caught going to the wrong man and got caught puck watching. But I have to assume he knows what he's supposed to be doing in that play, right? Right? I sure hope so. And thirdly, what in the holy name of hockey was that from Nilsson? He made the save, and everything was fine. Then he freaked out or something, fell on his face, and the puck went in the net. It's just a calamity of errors, and something that could only happen to these Senators. That goal gives the Wild some momentum, and they capitalize. Spurgeon throws an awful angled shot on goal. Nilsson stops it. Wait. It went in. What? Are you kidding me? This isn't such a good debut for Nilsson. That's 2 awful goals in a row. And just like that, the Sens go from leading by 1 to trailing by 1 in less than 2.5 minutes. Nilsson is able to rebound, and we get to the second intermission with the Sens still trailing 3-2. What an awful period, especially after such a good first period. 2 ugly goals. But not only that, they were outshot 13-4. That's not good. And it's so confusing to me. They played so terrifically in the first period, and then 18 minutes later, they're awful. What happened? But of course, the Sens don't get to have nice things, and we see the deficit grow from 1-2 not too long into period 3. Brodin sends it down low to Coyle. He fights off the check of Ceci and sends it to Cunnin. He cuts in front of the net, fires it off the pad of Nilsson. He kicks it away, but it lands perfectly on the skate of Parise. He goes skate to stick, fires it in the empty net, and the Wild lead 4-2. Nobody has any clue what to do in the defensive zone. Everybody just kind of moving wherever they want. Nobody covering anybody, it seems like. And again, another goal against. This is just getting awful. But of course, Mark Stone isn't going to let the Sens go quietly into the afternoon. The future Sens captain, when? Yes, when he signs. Tips a Cody Ceci point shot by Devin Dubnyk, and just like that, it's 4-3 Wild. Just silky smooth. Devin Dubnyk reaches out to get the puck. Mark Stone says, "Oh, that's nice. Let me tip it down here." Dubnyk whiffs, and just like that, the Sens are back to within 1. The Sens try to tie it as Zach Smith steals the puck from Devin Dubnyk behind the net, gets the puck in front. The puck trickles through the goal crease, but Ryan Suter saves the day and tucks it back under Devin Dubnyk to keep the Wild in front 4-3. Close, but no cigar. The Sens have some chances. Can't get any closer than the Smith chance, and the Wild skate away with a 4-3 win. A buddy of mine asked me if the Sens were ever going to win a game again. At this point, it certainly doesn't feel like it. Let's just get into good news, bad news. While it doesn't feel like they will ever win a game again, with the way they played in the first period, if they can do that over the course of a full game, they can beat anybody. They were terrific in the first period, and that is the good news. Seriously, the Sens were great. The shots, the scoring chances, the lack of shots against, the lack of scoring chances against. It's almost like a tease. Now we know they can play like that. We just need to get them to do it more consistently. It also has to feel good for the team. Yeah, they completely gave the momentum away in the second period and didn't really get it back in the third. But with the way they dominated in the first period, that's going to be a huge momentum builder, especially for a young team. Hopefully, now they can use that added knowledge and start doing it all the time. Or at least more consistently, because the Sens were really good in the first period last night, and that is the good news. Now, for the bad news. Of course, they blew it in the second period, which isn't good, but I'm going to focus on something else. Anders Nilsson was not nearly good enough, especially in that second period, and that is the bad news. 2 of the goals he gave up in the second, I thought were really bad. Yeah, the Sens weren't doing a great job of helping in front of him, but he certainly didn't do them any favors either. A goalie is supposed to stop the puck. I understand they aren't going to stop them all, but the Sens had a 2-1 lead. He then made a save and tipped over or something and kicked the puck into the net to allow the Wild to tie the game, and then allowed a goal from barely above the goal line to give the Wild the lead. All in a span of less than 2.5 minutes. Sure, the Sens weren't very good, but when a goalie gives up easy goals like that, it can be very deflating for a team. The Sens need their goalies to at least make those easy saves. This was not a great start to Nilsson's Sens career, and he hasn't been all that great so far this season either. Yesterday afternoon was no different, and that is the bad news. Next up, the Sens welcome the Carolina Hurricanes to town for another matinee contest this afternoon. The contest will be the first of 3 meetings between the two teams this season, including the first of 2 in 10 days. Heading into the contest, it's the Hurricanes who have dominated the recent head-to-head matchup between the two teams, having won 4 straight, with their last loss coming in 2016. And so far this season, it's the Hurricanes who have been the better team, posting a record of 18-17-5 to sit 8 points behind the Montreal Canadiens for the final playoff spot in the East and 6 points up on the Sens. The Hurricanes hold a game in hand on Montreal and 2 in hand on Ottawa though. The Canes also come into the contest having won 3 straight, and Sebastian Aho, who has had a really good season, comes in red hot, having a goal and 3 assists in his last 2 games. This should be fun. At least Pajot is back, and Hogberg is starting. See you this afternoon.